Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Sports Without Boundaries, sponsored by Top Shine Detailing. Check them out. Well, our lead story is the Bengals. The Bengals season is over. They have no chance of making the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see who they play, how they play the last game of the year. It is completely meaningless. It is at Cleveland, or is it home?
I think it's home.
It's at home. It's at home against Cleveland, but it's meaningless. Now, I want you all to know that what happened in Kansas City, in my opinion, is awful. It's awful for all kinds of reasons. First off, when it was 4th and 2, they should have kicked the field goal. That affects the decisions for the rest of the game. That was a bad decision by Zach Taylor. Number 2, that intentional grounding call, which made it 2nd and 20 instead of 2nd and 10 on the final drive, was preposterous. And I'm going to say it over and over again. With legal sports gambling everywhere, nobody's going to tell me that the NFL, and by the way, they'll cover it up and they'll keep it a secret. The NFL has got a gambling problem with the referees. I mean, it is bad, 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 bad. And speaking of with in the NFL, is you only have to look at what went on this week of how bad it was. But there was some really, really, really big games. Philadelphia Eagles blew getting home field advantage 2 playoff games. They're fighting for a wild card, losing to the Cardinals. The Ravens are clearly the best team in the NFL. Who's going to beat the Ravens? Do you know the Ravens don't have to play anybody this week, Josh? Then they've got to bye. Then they play the worst team that's left. And then they got to win one more game to get to the Super Bowl. You talk about a fresh team. And you know what? They waxed Miami. They waxed the Niners. They waxed the Eagles. They waxed the Lions. I mean, they have waxed all the other quote-unquote best teams. And then I think the 49ers are going to be tough to beat. If the Cowboys win their last game against the Commanders, which they should, they do have home field advantage for 2 games. And maybe there's a rematch. But San Francisco's got the same thing. They've clinched. They can rest two games and then have, and you know, at this time of year, Josh Wentz, I think you'll agree with me, everybody's beat up. Yep. I mean, to have that extra time off, man, fresh foot in your step, step in your foot. All right. Bama lost, and this was a heart-wrenching game, 20-27 to Michigan in the Rose Bowl. All those SEC haters will be glad, but I can tell you right about this. Bama gave them a game. Those people didn't think Bama. And Florida State can say all they want about their transfers and the people that didn't play, but Georgia put a waxing on them. But I want to tell you something about this game. It cracks me up. How does a referee not see the punter from Bama get shawalloped? And then the Bama player threw the quarterback down way out of bounds. No call on that either. This game could have went either way. Michigan, in my opinion, I cannot believe that Bama let him come all the way down with 4 minutes left, all the way down the field and scored. Washington 37, Texas 31. The 2 teams that I thought would win both lost. So we're going to have a Michigan-Washington game. I think Michigan wins it. University of Kentucky's ranked 6th going into SEC play. Other bowl games, Georgia blew out Florida State in the Orange Bowl. LSU beat Wisconsin in the ReliaQuest Bowl. UK almost had Clemson. The SEC is strong. Notre Dame whopped Oregon State in the Sun Bowl. UK, Clemson was the Gator Bowl. Missouri beat Ohio State 14-3 in the Cotton Bowl. Ole Miss beat Penn in the Peach Bowl. Oregon beat Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl. And Tennessee whacked Iowa in the Citrus Bowl. Think about that, Josh Wentz. If you want to talk about the SEC, Bama almost beat Michigan, the number 1 seed, and you had Georgia, LSU, UK almost winning, Missouri beating Ohio State, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. It's the strongest conference. You know what? I see this with the Cowboys, Bengals all the time. When you're up and you leave your players in, what bit the Miami Dolphins in the ass. They were getting their ass handed to them. They leave Chubb in, torn ACL. If you are killing a team or getting crushed, take out your best players. This is what happens. College refs, based upon what I witnessed over the weekend, college refs are as bad as pro refs. Jimmy Johnson was indoctrinated into the Ring of Honor. Dallas Cowboys on Saturday night. Dallas Cowboys beat the Detroit Lions. We'll talk about that in a minute. By the way, if you have a really good game, they test you for drugs. CeeDee Lamb had over 220 yards rushing, then he gets drug tested. All right, the big story was Dallas and the Lions' 2-point conversion. It looked like number 68, Decker, clearly reported. But then it comes out later that they were playing some games. They confused the referees. It bit them in the ass. As a Cowboy fan, I'll take it. I think it was crazy. But I can tell you right now, when it was on the 7-yard line, kick the extra point. Play for overtime. I love Dan Campbell. And Lions are my backup team. If the Dallas Cowboys lose, I'm going to be rooting for the Lions. UC beat Evansville in men's basketball. The Reds signed Frankie Montas. Frankie. Hey, Frankie. Montas, got to be a Yankee. 1 year, $16 million. Crazy. NBA Christmas ratings were way down. Why? Because it was NFL on Christmas Day. Rashid McCants, former NBA player, telling about how NBA players steal fans' girlfriends. When the guy goes to the bathroom, they have somebody move in for him. Isn't that terrible? Terrible. Hey, so-and-so would like to meet you. Here's his number. Unbelievable. Poor guys. You know what you do? If you take your woman to an NBA game and you're up close, don't leave her alone. Don't go to the bathroom. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.